Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you a social political change campaigner, a Pan-Africanist, a dynamic preacher, and author. I hereby present Emmanuel Bamidele on stage.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Fellow Africans, by personal research, I discovered that a man's outlook and behavior cannot be separated from the state of his mindset. In other words, as a man thinks, so also is his behavior and outlook on life. This indicates that the present state of our continent is a clear evidence of our mindset. This brings me to the first part of this speech, which is servant and saboteur. There are usually two categories of personalities in every position of responsibility. Whichever category of personality you find in a place determines the situation of the place. The social environment of a place projects the image of the category of personality in such a place. It is either a servant or a saboteur. The scripture says, "By their fruit we shall know them." The African situation today reflects the fact that saboteurs most of the time are the ones in key positions in our continent. I discovered that the oil of sanity and decency required in positions of responsibility is just very little. The amount of oil in a car, to a very large extent, determines how far the car will go. The state of our nation and continent today is an indication that the oil of sanity and decency have run out. Nigeria's independence is barely 52 years, and the situation of the country has gone so bad that the frustration and hopelessness of it is obvious in the lives of majority of Nigerians. Almost 25 years after the departure of the colonial masters, the situation of things are getting worse by the day, despite the discovery of crude oil and other resources that are generating billions of dollars for the nation. The more our income, the more poverty and suffering are on the increase because of saboteurs that presented themselves to be servants. Most ordinary Nigerians would have preferred the colonial masters continue to rule us so long as they have abolished the slave trade. After all, the colonial masters would not want them to go hungry because productivity requires physical power. In addition, a hungry man is an angry man that can easily revolt against their authority. The colonial masters will provide good roads because they wouldn't want to die by road accident. They would not want the breakdown of power supply and maintain the street light so that they can walk freely at night. They will see critically to the environmental and industrial pollution in order to avoid health breakdown. They will develop the sporting sector so that they can win many trophies. The colonial masters will make sure that they cater for the oil-producing region as they will consider the security of their staff during exploration, and the issue of kidnapping of their staff may not even come up at all. Finally, they would like to avoid international criticism and possible conspiracy by the people they are governing. These are the possible basic infrastructure that the colonial masters would have put in place had it been they are still ruling Africa. The colonial masters' strongest weapon is mental ideology and not gun. They will first study the people's mentality and then will tackle it with the required idea to make the people to obey effortlessly. They resort to weapons only when a mental ideology fails. The way and manner we govern ourselves is worse than that of the colonial masters with constant use of force to silence their people's voice. President Barack Obama of the United States of America said in his speech during his visit to Ghana that the future of Africa lies in the hands of Africans. However, with the continuous leadership of saboteurs, a bright future is certain. We must realize that even during the slave trade, our people are the very traps foreigners used to take some of our people into slavery. They enticed them with what they thought would captivate their interest most. The decision makers are the problem of Africa, while others follow. This is because the decision makers did not give other Africans the reasons to believe in Africa and to contribute their quota to the development of Africa. Americans can and are ready to die for America because their decision makers gave them the reason to do so. After many decades, the same saboteur mentality is very much prevalent in our continent, Africa. Various kings and their council of chiefs are this first set of saboteurs used by the slave marketers. Traditional rulers and their ruling councils are supposed to be servants of the people and not saboteurs. Let us now come to the 21st century point of view in assessing the modern system of governance, as in the president, governors, local government, chairmen, and so on. Sabotaging is the order of the day in all these tiers of government. In fact, it is more or less entrenched in the very fabric of our society. For instance, most stolen wealth sunk into the hands of government of other countries with the help of saboteurs. While many people are dying in Africa because of this foolishness, I wonder when African leaders and citizens will actually come into a rightful way of thinking that will bring about a sustainable development. It is high time we channel a new direction in life. We should adopt a conservative lifestyle and begin to affect people's lives positively. We should dump this idea of oppressing the needy that some people considered fashionable.